There's a simple truth that nature teaches us. Diamonds are formed under pressure, and just like those rare precious stones, the finest parts of ourselves are forged not during times of ease, but in the heat of challenge. Life will test you. It will place you in situations that seem impossible, overwhelming, even unfair. But here's the secret. Those moments are the ones that shape you the most. The pressure you feel today is not trying to break you, it's trying to build you. What if we flip the way we look at pressure? What if, instead of avoiding it, we embraced it as part of our growth? Every obstacle, every rejection, every sleepless night chasing a goal, it's all refining you. It's preparing you to shine. Because here's something powerful. You become what you think about. If you focus on fear, you feed fear. But if you focus on strength, growth, and purpose, even in hard times, you begin to rise. Your mind is like a compass, and it will always lead you where your thoughts consistently go. Understand this, success isn't something that happens overnight. It's not a destination, it's a journey. And it's defined by the consistent pursuit of a goal that matters to you. The pressure, the setbacks, the doubts, they're not distractions. They're proof that you're on the path. Adversity doesn't build character, it reveals it. When life gets tough, who do you become? Do you shrink or do you stand tall? These are the moments that define us. These are the moments that separate the ordinary from the exceptional. So if you're feeling pressure right now, good, that means you're growing. That means something valuable is being created within you. There's no strength without struggle, no clarity without chaos, no diamond without pressure. Don't fear the pressure. Welcome it. Learn from it. Rise through it. Because you are not just built to survive it, you are built to shine because of it. The struggle is the catalyst for growth. When we look at nature, success doesn't come easily or instantly. Trees don't grow tall without pushing through the soil. Rivers don't carve valleys without resistance. Even the butterfly, fragile and delicate as it may seem, must fight its way out of the cocoon to strengthen its wings enough to fly. Likewise, in our own lives, growth doesn't happen during easy times. It happens when we are challenged, when we are forced to dig deep and discover what we're really made of. It's a truth that many people overlook. Struggle isn't a sign of failure. It's a sign that something meaningful is happening. We live in a world that often glorifies the outcome, celebrating success, comfort, and ease, while hiding the process it took to get there. But behind every success story, there's a period of pressure. A season where nothing seemed to be working, where self-doubt crept in, where it would have been easier to quit than keep going. It's during these times, when things are hard, when we're stretched beyond our limits, that true transformation takes place. Think about the process of a seed becoming a tree. It's buried in darkness, pressed down by the weight of the soil, yet it begins to grow, not despite the pressure, but because of it. That resistance triggers the roots to dig deeper, anchoring the tree for the storms ahead. Without that initial struggle, the tree would never stand tall. Human beings are no different. The difficult seasons of life are not there to punish us. They're there to prepare us. Pressure forces us to grow in ways comfort never could. We often hear people say, I grew the most during the hardest time of my life. And it's true. Moments of hardship introduce us to parts of ourselves we didn't know existed. Resilience, patience, creativity, courage. These qualities don't show up when life is smooth. They reveal themselves when you're faced with obstacles you never imagined you could overcome. But the mindset we bring into the struggle matters deeply. If we resist growth, if we focus only on the discomfort, we miss the lesson. But if we approach challenges with the belief that this is shaping us into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable, then we're able to extract value from even the most painful experiences. That shift in perspective is powerful. It takes you from victim to student, from feeling stuck to feeling sharpened. We must remember the most meaningful changes in life rarely come wrapped in comfort. They come disguised as pressure. They show up as difficult conversations, financial setbacks, failed attempts, and unexpected detours. But within each of those lies an invitation to evolve. So when you find yourself in the middle of struggle, remind yourself this is part of the process. Growth doesn't happen by chance. It happens by challenge. And while the pressure may be uncomfortable, it's also temporary. What lasts is what it creates inside you. A new mindset, a deeper strength, a more grounded sense of who you are. The struggle is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of your transformation. It's not there to break you. It's there to build you. Every great success is born from a period of pressure. And just like the diamond that begins as carbon, shapeless and unremarkable, it's the force, the heat, and the time that turn it into something rare and beautiful. So trust the pressure, embrace the struggle, and know that with each challenge you're being carved into something remarkable. You become what you think about. One of the most powerful truths in life is this: our thoughts shape our reality. What we consistently dwell on, we begin to move toward, whether consciously or not. This idea may sound simple, even obvious, but most people underestimate just how deeply their inner world influences their outer world. Our lives don't move in the direction of our wishes, our hopes, or even our hard work alone. They move in the direction of our dominant thoughts. Every action we take is first born as a thought. Every habit, every decision, every reaction, it all begins in the mind. If someone is constantly thinking about fear, lack, and failure, that's exactly what they'll begin to attract and create, not because of magic, but because of focus. Our focus determines what we notice, what we pursue, and how we respond to the world around us. On the other hand, when a person feeds their mind with thoughts of possibility, growth, and purpose, they naturally begin to act in ways that align with that mindset. The mind is a powerful filter. It doesn't just perceive the world, it interprets it. If your mind is focused on obstacles, you'll see problems in every opportunity. If your mind is focused on potential, you'll see opportunity even in the middle of a problem. That shift in thinking changes everything. It changes the way you speak, the energy you bring into a room, the confidence you project, and the choices you make, even when no one is watching. What you think about most often becomes your mental home. And just like a home, it can either feel uplifting or suffocating. If you constantly tell yourself you're not ready, not smart enough, not lucky enough, or not the type, you slowly begin to believe it, and eventually you start living it. That's why protecting your thoughts is one of the greatest responsibilities you have. What you allow to live in your mind will eventually show up in your life. It's not about ignoring reality or pretending challenges don't exist. It's about choosing which part of reality you give the most weight to. Everyone experiences fear and doubt at some point, but those who grow beyond it are the ones who refuse to let it dominate their thinking. They acknowledge the fear, but focus more on the goal. They recognize the challenge, but concentrate on the solution. Over time, their thoughts begin to build a foundation of belief, and that belief fuels consistent action. You don't need to be perfect to see your life change. You just need to become intentional with your thoughts. Instead of waking up and letting the day dictate how you feel, start directing your mind toward what matters. What are your goals? What do you want to become? What kind of mindset would the best version of yourself have? Begin to think those thoughts now. Speak those truths now. Because everything you want to build begins with a mental blueprint. And this isn't just about achieving success. It's about becoming someone who lives with clarity and conviction. Someone who knows that pressure is part of the process, but that their mind is stronger than any challenge they face. When you train your thoughts to align with growth and resilience, your life will follow in that direction. What we think about is what we move toward, so guard your thoughts like your future depends on it, because it does. Feed your mind with what you want to become, and watch your actions, your habits, and eventually your life begin to reflect it. That's not wishful thinking, it's focused living. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal. Success is often misunderstood. For many, it's seen as a finish line, something you either reach or you don't. It's commonly measured in titles, possessions, or status, creating the illusion that unless you've arrived at a certain destination, you haven't succeeded. But the truth is far more empowering. Success is not a moment, it's a movement. Not a prize you win once, but a process you commit to daily. Real success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal. Let's break that down. Progressive means ongoing. It's not about being perfect today, but about making consistent steps forward. Realization means you're bringing something to life, something meaningful, something chosen. And a worthy goal is one that reflects your values, your vision, and your purpose. When you put all of that together, success becomes something that is within reach, not because it's easy, but because it's active. It's something you live, not something you wait for. In a world obsessed with quick wins and overnight success stories, this perspective can feel unfamiliar. We're surrounded by highlights, by polished moments of victory, but rarely do we see the long hours behind the scenes, the setbacks, the silence, the persistence required to keep going. The idea of slow, intentional progress doesn't always make headlines, but it's where real transformation happens. Success is built in the quiet decisions, the ones no one else sees. It's found in waking up early to work on your dream when no one's watching, in choosing discipline over distraction, in saying no to things that don't align with where you want to go. Every time you do something that moves you closer to your goal, no matter how small, that is success. Even when the goal feels far away, even when the results haven't shown up yet, the fact that you are walking toward it matters. And there's something incredibly freeing about this view of success. It means you don't have to wait until you hit a major milestone to feel accomplished. You don't need to compare yourself to someone else's journey. Your only measure is whether you are moving bit by bit toward the goals you believe in. That mindset builds momentum. It turns pressure into fuel. It gives meaning to the hard days and brings patience to the long ones. The beauty of a worthy goal is that it's chosen. It's not about chasing someone else's idea of success. It's about identifying what truly matters to you. Maybe it's building a business. Maybe it's becoming a better parent. Maybe it's living with integrity, creating something meaningful, or developing a skill that stretches you. The goal doesn't need to impress the world. It just needs to be something you care about deeply. That's what makes it worthy. When you align your energy with that kind of goal, progress starts to feel fulfilling. Challenges don't discourage you as easily because you know why you started. The journey becomes less about pressure to perform and more about honoring the process. And as you look back, you begin to see that the real reward wasn't just in reaching the destination. It was in who you became on the way there. So if you're working towards something today, if you're putting in effort, staying focused, and doing the inner work, know that you are already successful. Not because you've arrived, but because you're moving with intention. You're choosing growth. You're building something that matters. That's what real success looks like. It's not a single moment of arrival. It's the ongoing, determined realization of a goal that means something to you. Keep walking. You're already on the path. Adversity reveals character. We all face adversity. It comes in different forms. Unexpected loss, disappointment, rejection, failure, or simply the weight of responsibility and stress. No one is immune. And while adversity is never pleasant, it carries with it a quiet and powerful opportunity. It reveals who we are when comfort is stripped away. Character is easy to display when everything is going well. When the road is smooth, it's easy to be kind, calm, patient, and confident. But when pressure sets in, when things begin to fall apart, or when the future looks uncertain, that's when your true character steps forward. Not the image you present to the world, but the values you truly live by. The mindset that comes through when the lights are off and no one's clapping. That's the real you. Adversity doesn't necessarily build character from scratch. It reveals what has already been developing beneath the surface. It exposes your habits, your thoughts, and your inner foundation. If you've spent time nurturing resilience, discipline, and gratitude during the quiet moments of life, those qualities will rise naturally when challenges appear. If you've allowed doubt, bitterness, or entitlement to grow unchecked, those will be the first things to surface when the pressure increases. This is why adversity, as hard as it may be, is a powerful teacher. It gives us a mirror. It invites us to examine who we are, not just who we want to be. It teaches us what we still need to strengthen, what habits we need to develop, and what perspectives we need to let go of. It humbles us, yes, but it also empowers us, if we're willing to pay attention. Think about the strongest people you know, not just successful by external standards, but people who carry real depth, calm, and perspective. They've likely been through things. They've faced loss, pressure, uncertainty, and it was in those moments, not outside of them, that they became stronger. Pain taught them compassion. Difficulty sharpened their discipline. Setbacks gave them a sense of humility and patience they might not have developed otherwise. This doesn't mean we need to seek out adversity or glorify hardship. Life will deliver it without any invitation. But when it comes, we get to choose how we respond. We can resist it, complain, and collapse under its weight, or we can use it. We can ask, what is this revealing in me? What kind of person do I want to be in the middle of this? How can I grow through it, not just go through it? See, and sometimes adversity reveals strengths we didn't know we had. The courage to speak up, the endurance to keep showing up, the grace to forgive, the humility to ask for help. In these moments, we meet parts of ourselves that have been dormant. We realize we're capable of more than we thought, not because everything is perfect, but because we kept standing when it wasn't. You don't need to be flawless under pressure. You just need to stay honest, stay grounded, and keep moving with intention. Every time you respond to adversity with clarity instead of chaos, with patience instead of panic, with purpose instead of despair, you are shaping a character that can weather anything, not just for yourself, but for the people who look to you for strength, for leadership, for hope. So when adversity comes, and it will, let it show you who you are, and then let it show you who you're becoming. Because the fire that tests you can also forge you, and in time, that pressure becomes proof, not of weakness, but of the quiet strength that only adversity can reveal. There is no growth in comfort. Comfort feels good. It's familiar, predictable, and safe. It offers rest, routine, and a sense of control. But while comfort may feel peaceful in the moment, it really leads us toward transformation. Growth, by its very nature, requires discomfort. It requires change, challenge, and at times, chaos. And that's the paradox many people struggle with. We want to grow, but we also want to stay comfortable. Unfortunately, we can't have both. The truth is, nothing extraordinary is created inside the boundaries of comfort. Think about anything you've achieved that truly mattered to you. A moment of courage, a hard-earned skill, a deep relationship, a personal breakthrough. None of those things were born in ease. They were forged in the fire of pressure, uncertainty, and effort. They demanded more of you than you thought you had, and that demand is what made the growth real. Comfort zones are like invisible fences. They keep us safe, but they also keep us small. Inside that zone, things may feel manageable, but there's no real stretch, no challenge to your assumptions, no need to confront fear or doubt. And without that tension, growth becomes stagnant. You might stay busy, you might stay efficient, but you don't evolve, you don't expand, you don't transform. Now, this doesn't mean you need to live in constant struggle. Growth isn't about seeking pain for the sake of pain. It's about recognizing that the path to your best self runs straight through discomfort. It asks you to face the things you've been avoiding, to try when failure is still possible, to speak up when silence would be easier, to act even when you're uncertain how things will turn out. Discomfort is the signal that you're stepping into unfamiliar territory. And that's exactly where transformation lives. When you try something new, when you pursue a dream that challenges you, when you begin to break old patterns, that resistance you feel isn't a warning to stop. It's a sign that you're on the edge of growth. It's uncomfortable not because you're doing the wrong thing, but because you're doing something new. People often wait for the perfect moment to begin, when fear disappears, when the path is clear, when they feel ready. But readiness doesn't come before action. It comes because of it. Confidence doesn't show up first. It's built through repetition. Clarity isn't given. It's uncovered through movement. All of these rewards sit on the other side of discomfort. The only way out is through. It's helpful to reframe discomfort not as a threat, but as a teacher. It reveals your limits so you can expand them. It highlights areas of weakness so you can strengthen them. It shows you who you are under pressure so you can decide who you want to become. Growth doesn't happen in a straight line. It happens in the stretch, in the moments you show up, even when you'd rather hide, in the days you keep going, even when progress feels invisible. And something amazing happens over time. Your comfort zone starts to expand. What once terrified you becomes normal. What once seemed impossible becomes your new baseline. That's the reward of leaning into growth. It doesn't just change what you do, it changes who you are. So if you're feeling uncomfortable right now, don't run from it. Lean in. Let it shape you. Let it teach you. Because that discomfort you feel today may be the exact pressure that turns you into something stronger, clearer, and more capable than you've ever been. And just like a diamond, that brilliance doesn't come from comfort. It comes from the process.